Hi, Blake with BlvdHome. We're going to talk about a video that was brought to my attention. The guy had some pretty good points, and he also had some points that I don't necessarily agree with, so we're going to address those points today. His title of his video is Why I Won't Connect My Dishwasher to Your Stupid Cloud. And his premise is he bought a Bosch 500 series dishwasher because his old GE dishwasher failed. The control board went bad on it. It was going to cost him a lot of money for the control board and just hours of fixing it. So full disclosure, this is a Bosch 500 series dishwasher right here. I do not own one of these dishwashers. I do own a Bosch dishwasher, but it's a little bit older than this one. But my parents do own this dishwasher, so I'm pretty familiar with this. I bought it for them. I installed it in their home. I know the features of this dishwasher pretty well and how it does function. In the video, he's showing his quick start guide. Well, that's not the complete owner's manual, it's the quick start guide. To get into the actual use and care manual, you either have to have the app or you got to go to Bosch and download the full app. Now, most manufacturers are doing this nowadays. I know it's a cost-saving thing, but stop being cheap. Let's be honest, manufacturers, give us a full owner's manual. I know people don't read them. We've already talked about this 1,000 times, but still, if I have the owner's manual in front of me and the customer says it's not doing this, I can open it up and say, look, it's right here. Now I have to say, well, let me dig out the app and let me take you here and let me take you there and let me take you, let me find on this page of this app. You know, you've got to send more than just the quick start guide because there's so much more to your dishwasher. So back to the story. So on his quick start guide, it said that there are features available on the unit that are not showing on the dishwasher, one being a rinse cycle. To be honest and be fair with him and fair with the manufacturers, it doesn't have a rinse cycle. But to be honest with you, I don't know many people that have ever used the rinse or rinse and hold cycles, they used to be called. It was a feature that was available that most people didn't use anyway. And I'm sure a few people used it, and this gentleman may have used it. I don't know, but I've never had the complaint saying, hey, my rinse and hold cycle isn't working. In saying that, he was concerned they didn't have this, but it was available on the app. I was kind of unsure about that because I'm like, okay, it's not in the use and care manual, it's not here. Let me borrow your phone and let me take a look. So I did take his phone, I did take a look, and lo and behold, in the cycles that is available on the app, but you have to allow a remote start with the dishwasher, there is a rinse only function. There's also machine clean function available for this dishwasher. Surprised? Yeah. Kinda, but they are available. So what he says is true about this dishwasher because the cycles are there, but you have to have the app for it. But this is a trend that's happening in the industry. It's not just a Bosch thing. Other manufacturers are also utilizing something similar to it. Because if you go to, we'll just use LG for an example because they're one I know right off the top of my head, but for their washers and also their dishwashers, they have a cycle on there, or there's a button on there that says downloaded. If you watch some other videos, we've talked about it before, but we'll cover it again. Download cycles are cycles that are available in the app that aren't on the machine. So you have your cycles are select on the machine and you want to do some jeans or you want to do some certain types of silks or certain types of baby stains, baby clothes, stuff like that. Those cycles are available, but they're available on the app. You download it to your machine that's connected to the internet, and now when you turn it to the downloaded cycle, that is what that cycle is. So it gives you a lot more flexibility as far as how many cycles you have and how you can utilize your machine. So it actually gives more value, in my opinion, to the machine because you have more flexibility with the machine that you wouldn't have without that downloaded cycle. So it is a positive thing. It's not necessarily a negative thing. Part of his concern is, I'll use my words, this is not his words, that basically the manufacturer is ripping you off and taking away features that you had previously and forcing you to use the app. In my opinion, it's not a very valid point. Most people don't use the rinse and hold cycle. So are they taking it from you? Yes. But is it a feature that most people use? No, it's not. Just because you like to have an 8-track in your truck because it was made in 1975 and they don't have it anymore, it doesn't mean that they're taking it away from you. Things have advanced, things have moved on. It's obsolete. The reason they get rid of them is because people don't use them. So manufacturers have had lots of time to talk to people about their appliances, what cycles you use, what cycles you don't use. This is something that somebody doesn't use. But some people like it, so they're making it available. But the only way they make it available is to get on the app. And that part, I get that part of it. And don't get me wrong, I understand that part of it. But they're not stripping it away from you to force you to go to the app. That's not something that is true. And what his complaints in the video was some of the end of user license stuff he didn't agree with. And there was a lot of, and I love you guys out there if you're watching, there's a lot of tinfoil hat stuff on there because, and the reason I'm saying that, and it's not picking on him, when he's saying don't use it because of all these end of use licensing, he's also on YouTube and showing his face on YouTube just like me, like this pretty mug right here. When you're uploading stuff to YouTube or downloading stuff from YouTube, they're getting this information. When you get into your iOS, for your Apple iOS or your Microsoft iOS, when you start getting it into their iOSs, there's a ton of end of user license agreements. When you turn on your TV and you connect to the internet, there's a bunch of stuff there. I understand his point about not wanting to have Bosch have this data. I get it, but you're giving out this data to everybody else. So what's the difference? Is it because it's Bosch or because it's something that you can say, I don't want to do because of that? Well, if you don't want to do it because of that, then I get it. Then you're going to have to be isolated and not use any type of smartphone, any type of internet, any type of anything that has to do with electronics. You're going to have to live in a bubble. It's not picking on him, it's just, let's just be honest here. I guess you can always use false information. I can't tell how many email addresses I know people have because they use certain ones for family, certain ones for friends. And I guess you could give them false information as far as addresses, names, stuff like that. Well, this is how they use it. They're registering that product to you. If there's a problem with the dishwasher or there's a recall, you don't know there's anything wrong with your dishwasher. I think it was alluded to in this video, and if I'm wrong, but this is still a point. Somewhere down the road, can the manufacturers build something and say, if you want certain features within your dishwasher, that you're gonna have to pay a subscription service to get these features? Well, it's possible. There's lots of examples of them out there on the market right now. Any of you own a Tesla? I don't own a Tesla, but I know people that have Teslas. If you want to have like the auto drive and a few other things, you have to pay a subscription fee for it because it costs money to develop this and you have to pay a subscription fee. If you do photography, Adobe Lightroom, which is a very popular software, I had a copy of Adobe Lightroom that I paid for and I owned it and I could do whatever I want with it. Now, if I want the latest and greatest, and which I had to download with my update I did on my Mac, and now this old software that I've been using forever won't work with this new iOS system. It's now going to cost me, if I want to use this software, $120 a year to use their software. So I'm not going to say it's not a possibility because it is a possibility. Hopefully they're smart enough not to do it, because if the consumer says, I want these features and you're going to have the features on there, or I'm going to go to somebody else, they're going to hear it loud and clear. All I can say is if it does happen or it starts to happen, vote with your wallet. But I will say to him in return, I love Bosch dishwashers. I'm a big fan of Bosch dishwashers. I think he got a better quality dishwasher by far than what his previous GE was or ever will be. Sorry, GE, love you. It's a great dishwasher. I'm sorry he doesn't want to hook up the internet so he can have his rinse-only cycle. If he doesn't want a rinse-only cycle, well, you have a sink. In conclusion, what I'm basically saying is this is not a bad thing to be able to connect to the internet. I used to say, I don't know why you connect to the internet. I have no reason. I don't really understand, but I'm getting it now because manufacturers are using it as a tool. They're using a tool in a lot of different ways. The manufacturer getting great information on how the appliance is performing so they can improve their product because they know how it's working. They can update the appliance if things aren't going right. They can update them, fix small computer errors, and make it run better for you. And they're giving you more options and more cycles than what they can give you on the machine to begin with. So it's not necessarily a bad thing, because if it is, every iPhone that you update and every Android phone that you update, it's a bad thing. That's all they're doing. They're making it better for everyone. Don't think technology is a bad thing, and don't think that because I'm recommending it when I used to not, I'm a fraud. No, it's just things have changed. And I hope this video has been informative, and I hope that that's maybe changed a couple hearts and mind. And to this gentleman that produced this video, no hard feelings. I do get your point, and I do believe some of those points are fair. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. If you have any comments, don't like anything that I said about the video and the tinfoil hat, I still love everybody out there. So please comment below, and we'll see if we can answer for you, and we'll see you again real soon.